Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I just wanted to review SPY, which is the S&P 500, and this is the ETF that I purchased probably about almost a week and a half ago, and we've been pretty much bag holding for the last couple of days because we have them made a bad purchase, bought them over here around like 420 to 425 around there, and it seems like a bad purchase, but we'll see in hindsight just by looking at it. But I just wanted to give my perspective on this because anything can happen in the market, but it's made me second guess whether I should be taking the loss or not. But when you look at like support levels and just think about the last couple of days, with everything that went up with Powell speaking and it ran all the way up to 430 and just completely rejected back down because the ruling out of the 0.75 rate hikes, it's definitely important to think that at least this was the low 10 days ago at 406. It did retest it again right here a couple days later. And then the last day, I thought it was bad news, but it actually held the low, which was really nice. And the RSI was low here at 25, where it sold down to 405. And then yes, it's getting topped out again at the 415 area and just selling off. But it's holding right here, so we'll see. It doesn't mean that it's going to recover anytime soon. But it does make me think if it does come back up, maybe I'll sell for even. But the reason I've been holding this position is I like the way that SPY usually will trust the EMAs. So it'll usually trust the 200 EMA, which is right here in green, which it's selling below. And I thought we were going to get a retest, and that's why I bought a little earlier. And sometimes when I swing trade, I feel like I lose because you're trying to think about what's the overall picture, and then all these different news articles come out, and it just really influences the market. Because in my opinion, if 400 level gets broken, I think we're headed down to I believe 385, and I'm just going to show you. I'm going to draw a few support lines. So right now we have here, and then I just want to draw one more. Let's just bring this one up and just put it down here for now. When I go on the 2-year chart, you can see that right here would be the next area of support for these guys. And it's going to be around like the 375 to 380. Let's just play it safe and say 380. And just looking at this, the SPY does look like it's coming down. But I always feel like there's opportunities to make money, and it's more of a riskier trade because I guess I kind of bought the death. And if the SPY is going to keep retesting 400, it's just going to sell off. But when you just focus on just on the previous month, and you're looking at the 200 EMA, and then the orange is the 20 EMA, which is right here, and then the red is the 9 EMA, it's getting rejected off of these levels. So this is a problem. It needs to be able to recover this week or next week and actually stay above the 9 or the 20. Once it can break 430, because 430 is clearly a resistance level, because it's failed there. Let's look on the chart. I'll just put a resistance line. I believe it's failed like 2 or 3 times already. So this green line just makes it so much very confusing to read. Hold on. Let me see if I can change the color of this thing. I am not sure how to do that, I'll be honest. I'm just looking through to see if there is a way. So anyways, we'll just use this green line as resistance, and you can see it got rejected. It sold off here, and then it sold off, retested, sold off, retested again, which is a problem, and sold off. So right now we're trading in this really small window over the last like 10 days of just trading from 411 in between 430. So in my eyes, if we get any more bad news, something tells me we're screwed because it seems like anything in the news is just negative. The whole sentiment is just off. Nobody wants to own. It's like the buyers are just gone. There's nobody buying. So if we can't break the 430, I think we're just headed lower. And we are going to head towards, let's say, probably the 380 would be your next support level. Now, It's definitely possible, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer because I have shares and I don't want it to go down. But sometimes you just have to be realistic about it. And just zooming in on this, the, a nice recovery from here would be so nice from 411 to 480. That would be huge gains. But as you can see, as I zoom in, you can just see the EMA lines being well respected. And when I go on the 200 EMA, it doesn't look as bad from here. It looks like we have a lot of green volume coming in. And it's really interesting how you look at a 2 year chart, which I'm doing. But then if you go to a 1 month chart, those green lines are red candles. So I'm not really sure what to believe here when I'm reading this. So it's like, are people buying at this range, even though it looks like it's selling off and it's making lower lows? But when you go to the 2 year chart and you zoom in just on that specific area, it shows it as green bars that people are actually buying. Oh, it doesn't actually. Never mind. It shows it as red bars that people are selling. So I'm not sure why the Active Trader Pro Fidelity did that. But I just wanted you to be aware that this is a support level over here clearly, and if it breaks, I think we're headed to 380. But if we can break above 430, which is the infamous level apparently, we're probably going to get a retest of 437. And that's what I was banking on. I was hoping to get 20 points out of this, but I got 20 points the opposite way, so now I'm just bag holding. But it's definitely something I wanted to bring up. I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with holding the SPY, but you don't want to. It would just really stink to buy something and then it sells down to like 300 or 250. But I feel like we would need something really wrong to go in the market. And in May, there's not that much coming up, catalyst wise, at least that I know of. And if you do know of it, please leave a comment in the section below. I'm just going off the theory that if there's no news, the market's going to start coming back up until we get the next Powell meeting or something. So we'll see what happens. I think this next week is a deal breaker. I think we're going to get our answer and we're going to find out whether this is going to sell off down to 380 or not. But hopefully we can stay above the 419 this week, even though we're at 410, 411 right now. If we can stay above it, maybe we can start finally getting above 430 and then at least a retest of the 200 EMA. And a retest of the 200 EMA would be really nice. And that's what I was banking off of. Because if you just look at the past, anytime that it sells below this 9, this red one is the 9 EMA, you usually get a retest. And it usually gets back up to the 200 EMA. But for this time, it's not doing it for some reason. I don't know if it's because I have shares of them. Who knows? But right now, I would definitely just be careful. And if you're going to buy, maybe dollar cost average. Try not to go all in. But sometimes you think it's a good opportunity and it just keeps selling off. So we'll see. But looking at the overall chart, it's really choppy. So definitely dollar cost average could be nice. But that's really what I see with the SPY. And QQQ and all those, they pretty much trade identical because they have the big dogs, the Tesla and the Amazons all together. But this is where we're looking at with our levels. So this is really just critical right here. Like, where is it going to go from here? And that's what we'll find out hopefully in the next few weeks. That's it. I just want to give a quick recap on what I'm looking at in the market. And I've been mainly trading only really SPY and QQQ. So we'll see where it goes from here.